Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video. This is another paid request, this time for Yule. Y-U-L-E, Yule. Thank you so much for that. For those who want to send in any paid requests, whether it be for a topic, reaction, review, commentary, re-review, randomness, out of the blueness, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And he wanted me to do a commentary on the 2003 film Hulk, which, when he sent the PayPal, he had a message. It seems like he's a fan of the film as well, and there's not a lot of fans of this movie, but I enjoy it. I even did a video long ago defending it, and I would rather watch this film than pretty much any of the comic book films of today, because at least it's ambitious, at least it's interesting, at least I appreciate what Ang Lee, and I'm not a big Ang Lee guy, but I appreciate what he was trying to do with the story and the characters. At least in my opinion. And if you hear background noise like cats meowing and such, it's one of my cats wanting to get in. But the other day I sprayed the room, because once a week I spray just in case of bugs and stuff, because it's that time of the year, and I just wanted to get fully dissipated before any animals come in. I'm fine if I breathe it in, I just don't want, because I care about them more than me. So if I breathe in, fine. Or if they, again, I'm paranoid on that. Just keep them safer. But if you hear meowing, that's why. Be like, what the hell is that? Is that a ghost cat? Is that in the movie? No. But let's get into it. I have a pause at the beginning. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And for syncing, we have the Universal Pictures coming up. I was sure, yeah, Universal had Hulk for a bit. And there it dissipates. And then, again, for syncing, the Marvel comics flipping through. See, people seem to think that only came about with the Iron Man age of Marvel. But no, that was happening in Marvel movies before then. And then, again, for syncing, ripple effect, Universal Pictures presents, associated with Marvel Enterprises, and Good Machine Production. Okay, and it fades out. No, okay. Ang Lee film. Like I said, I'm not a big Ang Lee guy, but I do enjoy this movie. I saw this in the theater way back in the day, in the movie theater. And that was a time in my life where I lived near a movie theater. At least walking distance, or if I didn't want to walk, I could just take the bus, enjoy a calm bus ride, and get a stop right next to it. And I would go every week or every other week. And most films in 2003 I saw in the theater. Whether it be Matrix Reloaded, Matrix Revolutions, Bad Boys 2, even like Kangaroo Jack, Terminator 3, this film. Like I said, almost any, a lot of movies, it was 2003 I went to the theater. Because usually I would just wait till home video and such. And I remember at the time, not sure how I felt about it, because I think for a lot of people they wanted much more of an action-driven movie. They wanted much more of the Hulk destroying, smashing, which is understandable. It's perfectly understandable. You go to a Hulk film, that's what people expect. But this is a film that I think I appreciate what Ang Lee was trying to do with. I like the editing. I like the comic book style. It's funny, Brian De Palma would do similar stuff like that in his films, whether it be Carrie with split screens and other stuff, and no one complains about it, but even this bit here with the titles, well, it's gone, but reflecting on the guy's face when he's looking at a screen. Like, those little details are cool aesthetically. Like, it's telling this whole story about regeneration via editing. And some nice lighting, too. I like the blue lighting in this. Gives a little bit of atmosphere. Of course, in the story, this is Nick Nolte when he was younger, and you come to find out he helped do these tests, and I did nowadays. I rewatched this, was it 2 years ago maybe? And I'm like, man, I really enjoyed it. This is my favorite Hulk film. People get pissed at that. I like The Incredible Hulk from 2008. I don't think it's nearly as bad as people make it out to be. But I like this film more because I feel the ambition in it, and I like what it's trying to do with a deeper story, which I don't find that in Marvel films nowadays. They're more cookie cutter, and I love cookies. There's a lot of movies I love that are cookie cutter, but this went for it, and it got punished for it. Sad, but true. Galen Hurd, producer, helped produce this film, Aliens. Larry Franco. I think Larry Franco, he's worked with Kurt Russell in the past, among others. But throughout the story, you get the idea that the reason Banner is so angry, it could be a take on abuse. Some type of, if it's not abuse per se, then this, maybe that's the wrong word to use, this hidden violent thing he saw back in the day that he can't come to grips with, and is in the subconscious, seeing his mother die because of his father, all this stuff, and that subconscious thing that's in the back of his head, and abuse is the wrong word, but this sort of, maybe I meant like mental abuse of its own, like this residual angst, this residual dread, this residual hidden anger that you can't quite get into the forefront. And this whole idea that this father, finds out that his son has a genetic makeup, what he was trying to do. And so what if you have a father that thinks of you more as a test subject than as a son? It's pretty fucked up. Like this bit here where he takes the pacifier away just to let the baby cry. Stuff like that makes you just realize just how much of a fucking piece of shit this guy is as a father. What has been passed on. And that's the thing, he looks at his son more as a test subject. Unintentionally, it led to that, but now that it's happened. And, he sees the death of his mother because of his father, and that's, psychologists will have a field day with that. But I thought that was a nice way to go to give a bit more depth to the Banner character. I mean, you still have that little bit of Jekyll and Hyde thing. And to me, like, one of my favorite bits is this kind of a nightmare scene where Eric Bana is looking in the mirror, and he does this, and as he's wiping the mist off, the steam, the other side is his large green hand. And he's like, what the hell? And there's the Hulk looking at him, and the Hulk's like, puny human. And to me, the few bits I read of the comic and know of the character, that seems like what this type of character would be. And the thing is, I feel much more of a respect, and almost like he tried to do too much respect for the character, but I appreciate that. Like, you could tell there was love, and I love these edits. People hate these edits to make it look like a comic book panel come to life. I don't understand that. I mean, to me, I love that stuff. Even the little bit where the kid walked into the notepad and it fades in. There's a bit where later on Eric Bond's looking down and there's Jennifer Connelly, and then Jennifer Connelly starts moving. Like, these interesting transitions, I did make it stand out. That's like one of the issues we have with a lot of these comic book films nowadays. How do they stand out? How does Shang-Chi stand out from Black Widow and stand out from any number of these fucking films? They don't. And that's why then you look at a film like, and it's the running time. Fuck, Spider-Man No Way Home is longer. like the Eternals is longer than this movie. Now we have this general, or this guy, which will be Sam Elliott. I mean, come on, you got Sam Elliott. How can you go wrong with a movie with Sam Elliott? He's in The Big Lebowski. It's Sam fucking Elliott. Come on, Tombstone. So pretty much Nick Nolte's character got fired and he's on the run. And this will lead to an event that will affect his psyche, especially down the road. And again, this is where the child witnesses this, and trauma. I think that's the word I was thinking of, not abuse, trauma. That's the better word. This hidden trauma of witnessing this stuff, or knowing about this stuff, or being involved with this stuff, and how does a child understand that? It takes the whole character and story seriously. Doesn't turn to a joke like the Avengers did. And it did. Like, this is harrowing. I mean, this is... Eric Bana had a nightmare. Well, I mean, this is not him. This is the more teenage Bruce. Had a nightmare about this trauma that is hidden deep down, and it doesn't want to come to the surface. Because it blocked out. It was trauma that blocked out. And that's what I mean. It doesn't feel like the typical bare basic origin story, because of these underlying deep issues it's going into. And again, Ang Lee, I don't care for Gemini Man. Brokeback Mountain's not a bad film. It's just not a film I would rewatch. And people go, well, what do you mean by you don't like a film, or a film you don't... There's films that I could see its artistic merit, at least. It's just... it's not your cup of tea. I mean, it's random, but okay, I like basketball. I don't watch a lot of football because I'm not really into football, but then I also appreciate football. I appreciate what football and the tough work that goes into it. It's just not something I watch much. I probably watch more Super Bowl commercials than Super Bowls. Plus, I'm much more into basketball. But at the same time, I can appreciate what they're doing, and there's no hate involved. While there are movies that you appreciate, but it's just there's no anger or hatred on it. Usually, if I rant on something, it's because I think this actually does suck, and there's an inner either more explode. Oh, here we go. Stan Lee and Lou Ferrigno, what a pair. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. That was Lou Ferrigno in the original Incredible Hulk TV show. What is it, Seth Rogen's brother? No. But yeah, Ang Lee is not really a director I'd go for, but it was definitely a unique choice. I know at one point there was early tests of doing the Hulk practically, and there's early effects. I don't know if there's Steve Johnson or someone else, I can't remember, but I know seeing footage of them trying to do like an actual big animatronic Hulk, and there's like pieces of it. I don't know if it was for this movie, it might have been for a movie before, I can't remember, but it looked cool. If you know any videos about Hulk films never made that utilize that footage, let me know. I'd love to give it a look. And, Jennifer Connelly. I'm a fan of Jennifer Connelly. Beautiful lady, talented actress. She was in Labyrinth. She was in Phenomena, Dario Argento's film. Dark City. It's weird. Jennifer Connelly almost has this curse that a lot of these films she's in, they don't end up doing well. Like, Dark City's a great movie, but it didn't do spectacularly. Labyrinth, decent film, but it wasn't like a gargantuan success. This film underperformed because there was talks of a sequel. I'm sure there were plans, but that just never happened. But I like Jennifer Connelly. And I like Eric Bana. I thought Eric Bana did a good job. I know there are people who disagree with me. Edward Norton, I would say, is the best of the Bruce Banners, in my opinion. Edward Norton in this movie would be interesting. But I thought Eric Bana did good. And Eric Bana, I've seen, was a Chopper. It didn't do much for me. I've seen that before. It just didn't do much for me. It's not a bad film, but just, kind of, I liked him in Delivers from Evil, which, I don't know if I have that around here. Might be over there. But Eric Bana did a good job in that one. I liked him in Black Hawk Down. And I thought he did a good job here. Once in a Blue Moon, like when he's... Nah, actually that didn't bother me. See, I like the way this stuff is edited. The way these things overlap and people say it's too busy. To me, it's making it unique. Yeah, I get it. If the entire film sucks, then it would just be gimmicky. But I don't think the rest of the film... To me, it's another interesting... It is like trying to be a comic book brought to life. And it's like basically interesting, what they're going to do next. I wonder what they're going to do next visually. So not only I'm into the story, but even visually, I'm like, what are they going to do next? What cut? What transition? What split screen? And what creativity? So I keep bitching about creativity. So I'm one of those that loves the way this film is edited. I love the way this film is so unique. Again, compared to all the cookie cutter shit you see nowadays. Damn, that frog blew up. Blew its load in the bad way. I thought Eric Bana and Jennifer Connelly worked well together in this. Again, this takes the character seriously. It treats it with respect. It doesn't have the Hulk fucking going around offering tacos or burritos or whatever the fuck he was doing like in Endgame. We like some breakfast taco. It doesn't have the Hulk taking selfies. It doesn't have the Hulk getting his ass bitch smacked by Thanos in 5 seconds and never come back because the Hulk is too scared to come out. And then you have this Hulk banner that's not really that well explained how that came about. It's just a random 2-3 line thing. Like Hulk got his ass kicked, bitch smacked in the first 10 seconds, and then disappeared, then comes back the next movie, then he's this goofy character. Oh my god, I'm so embarrassed about my former self. And so here we have Josh Lucas, who's definitely a weasel of a character. Josh Lucas for about 10 minutes was... They tried to make him a new leading guy. It didn't pan out. Because he did these films that were big flops. He was in Stealth, if you remember that, with Jamie Foxx. I have some fun with that. No, it's not realistic in the slightest, but it's big-budget, popcorn, entertaining fun. As dumb as it is. Come on, it's about a stealth fighter AI that goes ape shit and starts blowing up things. I mean, that's what I mean. If you don't do a B movie like that, give me a budget instead of just this typical $5 Sci-Fi Channel shit. At least if it was a budget, I could enjoy the romp for the most part, along with all the attributes I like. Although I do think, in retrospect, Jamie Foxx should have been the lead. Because Josh Lucas, I think he works better in a supporting role like this. I just don't think he's leading man material. Just another film they tried to make him a big lead was Poseidon, the remake of the Poseidon Adventure with Kurt Russell, and I'm like, why isn't Kurt Russell in the lead? Why the fuck you got Kurt fucking Russell? Why is he not the main lead guy? Why is it Josh Lucas? Another, I mean, I guess it is against Josh Lucas. Like I said, he works well supporting, but not as the main lead. Especially again, you watch Stealth, I'm like, you know what, Jamie Foxx would work better. You watch Poseidon, you know what, Kurt Russell would work better. I hear Sam Elliott. Yes. I like William Hurt, but I thought Sam Elliott just was so much more intimidating and gun-ho as this character. Ross. Just, he's the Ross I prefer, this guy. Like, this Ross would eat William Hurt for breakfast. Or as some people call breakfast. Then you have Nick Nolte here. Which Nick Nolte, I mean, that's an actor that was very capable back in the day. I mean, you had films like 48 Hours. He was another... Teachers was a good one. Extreme Prejudice. Which I heard somewhere is finally getting a Blu-ray. I forget who's doing it. See that? I like the... Yeah, he's holding the picture, and then the picture comes to life, and... Again, it's an interesting transition. It just looks cool visually to me. But, you know, I appreciate that type of filmmaking if done right. But yeah, I mean, Sam Elliott would eat William Hurt's Ross for breakfast. And what else? Oh. I'm trying to think what else I was going to say. They definitely picked the right guy to just look like a younger Sam Elliott. I almost thought that was like Liev Schreiber trying to be Sam Elliott. But yeah, throughout the years, I mean, like I said, they had Iron Man come out in 2008, and the same year, Incredible Hulk. And Iron Man was admired for good reason. Wonderful movie. Incredible Hulk didn't get as rosy of a reception, and I liked the film, but you know, Edward Norton had battles with the producers, and they didn't like him the way he acted, so they're like, okay, well, we're going to recast you, and it's going to be a different guy. It's like, oh, okay. That doesn't really help with the continuity, but so I'm trying to think. Pretty fucked up. I mean, your girlfriend has a nightmare that you picked her up as a kid and did this. What? I never hurt you. It's premonition. It's her teardrop from Phenomena. It's grown up. Could be. I mean, you never know. She could be the same person from Phenomena. She grew up, she changed her name, and goddamn poodle from hell. I mean, one of the things I don't know if they needed to be mutant dogs. I mean, you need creatures for the Hulk to fight and kill. But yeah, I don't know if you needed them to be mutated dogs. I don't know if it could have been something else. Like maybe other. He Nolte tested on other human test subjects and. Or, I don't know. Maybe not. But yeah, after they recast Edward Norton, Hulk wasn't that bad in the 2012 Avengers movie. He wasn't. But then after that, it's like he got goofier, he got sillier, and especially in those last two Avengers films, Infinity War and Endgame. You can say it started with Ragnarok, because they fucked up Hulk, Planet Hulk story, so you can never do a Planet Hulk story. Even like World War Hulk, what the fuck would it matter to do that now? You don't have Iron Man, you don't have Captain America. Thor looks like he's on the way out. Well, I don't. That's what I mean. Like these, oh, the new Avengers films. Who don't give a shit about the new Avengers films? Who gives a shit about having this new wannabe Black Widow, Hawkeye, what the fuck, and Shang-Chi and like who the fuck else you don't have? The Eternals. Oh, sure, people are going to watch the Eternals being Avengers. And the 2008 Incredible Hulk underperformed. That's why you've never gotten another solo Hulk film, because they view it that if you do a solo Hulk, it won't make money. It won't make money. And the Hulk film, they're like, it's because it's expenses too. Because you think about, I mean, as Bruce Banner, it's fine, but when the Hulk comes out, that's a lot of money for them to put into, for each frame and each digital part of the Hulk having to animate every bit of it. That takes time takes money, and they're hesitant to do that. Or you have a bunch of people that are human most of the time, and they're still doing human stuff, but they do this, and you add that little bit of fat, or that little bit of fat. The hell you got in there? Load of cum? Nick Nolte is a semen drinker. But that's the thing about Nick Nolte is that he was a good actor, and he does. I think he does a good job here, but now he's very much just this gravelly voiced guy, and that's all he is, like this. But to be fair, I liked him in Tropic Thunder. He wasn't bad in what was that? Angel Has Fallen. I think he played the Gerard Butler's dad in that. He was one of the only good parts of that movie. Because I wasn't a fan of Angel Has Fallen, but Nick Nolte was good. Damn, this Weasley guy. You know what? He seems like that bully in Harry Potter if he was grown up. I forget the name. That character is in Harry Potter. That weasel that always fucked with Harry Potter was like, you know, the fucking bully, especially in the first Harry Potter. And this is like him grown up would be this character. That's a shitty name for a book. You may want to change your title. See, I like that edit because he did all three's perspective. You got the glare George Lucas gives to Jennifer Connelly, and Connelly's looked at like, what the fuck you doing? You got Eric Bana doing the death stare, ready to swallow his soul. I think that's where the accident happens and he saves the day, which reignites something deep within. This is the thing when you have the Hulk origin, like the way it's done in the comic, you can't do that in a movie today. That there's a test. I guess you can. I guess technically you can, but there would be people that look at it as silly. Although technically the whole fucking thing could be deemed silly. It's just how you handle it. Because none of this is realistic, let's be honest, and not one fucking bit of it. But again, this one, yeah, I appreciate what it's trying to. Because the Banner characters, you just had. I've been changed into this. Don't get angry. Don't get angry. I got angry. I gotta get away from people, or I'll hurt the ones I love. You can have that part of it, but this has an extra dimension to it, with the whole family history. That's a cool. I love those little hints of the Hulk. I love that like little explosion. It's like the Hulk is born. Sort of the explosion of life that created the universe. In that case, it was an up close eye of the Hulk, and you see this great explosion. It's like the explosion that causes his creation, inner creation, to its fullest effect. So you deal little hints of the Hulk for the build-up. But I was saying, like, with the comic, like, how could you do that? Because people are so much more known about gamma radiation, whatever type of radiation nowadays. You know, back in the day, we used to think radioactive means it's glowing. You don't turn the glow in the dark, turn the Toxic Avenger. Of course, nowadays, we know that's not the case. How far off the steepism landing do you want to walk towards and going to extend your disbelief, so to speak? For some people, it's a tall order. Other people, it's easier to swallow and go, it's just a movie. Just relax and be entertained. But yeah, I thought this was an interesting way of doing it without feeling like a copy of something. Yeah, she's not believing it. Understandably so. She knows there's something weird going on. Yeah, this weird like jellyfish on top of the desert, and this is like fucking altered states shit with some of these dreams. Which I appreciate because I like altered states, but like these weird stuff. There's a Hulk waiting. Open the door. See, that's how you do it, not the fucking Ghost Rider. There's something at the door. There's something at the door. Like Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. That fucking sequel where there's something at the door. I'm not going to kill my voice with that. How the hell did you get in here? See, that's the thing with the dogs, especially the poodle, is that when you get those scenes, it elicits laughter, which that should not be the case. That's why I mean, I don't know if the dogs was the best bet because I did like that scene where he's sitting there with the dogs. I think the audience like chuckled a bit because it's such a almost a goofy look. Like you got these, especially like the poodle, these multiple dogs. I say two, but I mean like multiple dogs. And this is a guy who, again, you think of a piece of shit father. This one wins the medal for that. I would say sadly this is a film that's better enjoyed at home than in the theater because at home you're able to take your time a bit more leisurely if you need to pause, go to the bathroom, get something to drink, something like that. Because it is, I think a lot of people felt it was too leisurely paced, which I can understand. You know, there's bits here and there you could trim. But like I said, there's definitely a measure of appreciation for. Granted, just because you try to do something different doesn't automatically give you a pass. Catwoman, you could say, did stuff different with the fucking cat, CGI cat, fucking right into Halle Berry's face. That's different, but doesn't mean it's good. Burping in front of Halle Berry's face and be like a shitty version of the Crow. Be careful, Eric Bana. This might be that old guy from Family Guy. And he thinks you're. Well, that character Seth Green voices. The son. I just want to play a game. A game called Hide the Potato. No, it's not get out, it's get off. Hide the pickle. Fuck you, dogs. Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest. Fuck you, dogs. Watch that temper of yours. Yeah, and wash your ass, Nolte. Get the drugs, alcohol out of that ass. I forgot what the hell he's doing with this. Oh, to create these monsters. And you think of like comic book films throughout the years. I mean, a lot of people seems like before Marvel there was nothing. I'm like, no, there's a big chain of events of comic book films before Marvel. You know, the cinematic universe of Marvel, I should say. Even going back to the '80s, I mean, you had Flash Gordon, in a way. You had Howard the Duck, Batman, of course. Before that, all those Superman the movie, which is a classic. I mean, early Marvel, you had, Captain America TV movies with Red Brown. You had the Incredible Hulk TV show, and They did that one movie, TV movie, where I think they were trying to make TV shows of Daredevil and Thor, and that never came about. One with Thor, one with Daredevil, and that never came to fruition. You had the Spider-Man live-action show. And then The Punisher in 1989. Love that film. Underrated flick. Did not get a fair release. It got dumped to direct-to-video and didn't deserve it. The Punisher with Dolph Lundgren is damn good. And then you had Captain America in 1990, which isn't that good of a movie. And you have movies that's not comic book, but they have that feel like Darkman. Because Sam Raimi wanted to do The Shadow and other stuff, but no, it did Darkman. And you had stuff like The Rocketeer, which is a good movie. You had, like I said, Batman 89, Batman Returns, and the list goes on. Even getting to the 2000s, I mean, Blade in 98, great movie. That really kickstarted things going to the 2000s, where you had X-Men and X-Men 2, Spider-Man films, Daredevil, which I like Daredevil. I think 2003 Daredevil is a bit underrated. That's another one I saw in the theater. It was this year. Just realized that was another 2003 film. People get mad at me. I actually like Daredevil the movie more than Spider-Man the movie. I did. But yeah, that film, it did well, but no sequel. And then again, this underperformed. Hellboy came out, I think, a year later. That was a good one. It's not Marvel, but I'm just saying. I didn't get this trauma hidden underneath. This, like, pastiche just growing inside him. This hidden anger. And the one thing that calmed him down is the voice of Betty. Yeah, something's knocking on the door. Then the simmering anger just bubbling to the surface. Sorry, now I'm just watching the film, but that last image we saw was of the knife, and that gets more into that hidden trauma, which we'll find out later. And these are like images of his mom. And a lot of people make fun of the way the Hulk looks. I think for 2003, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's a little bit Jolly Green Giant, but at the same time, he's fucking massive and destructive in this. I mean, when the Hulk gets going, he's a badass. Dare I say, I think this Hulk could beat the shit out of the Avengers Hulk. I do. It just seems, I feel more of the anger, this rage in this one than I do in the Avengers like Hulk films. I just feel the unrelenting rage, and I love like the different angles on this. Give more of a sense of this destruction. Just pure anger and id, just destroying anything in between it wants to. Not giving a fuck what gets in his way. And the idea that the angrier he gets, the bigger he gets, the angrier he gets, like the more impenetrable his skin is. Which I think is one of the things from the comics. I could be wrong. It just throws that fucking thing. And I think there is some actual practical stuff going on mixed in with the CG, which works. And even the design of the Hulk, I don't hate it like other people do. Like, that's a cool look, and the shadow and the low light. And you don't have the Hulk to talk much in this, which I think works. I did for 2003. I don't think it's that bad. I did some hidden anger. He knows something's up. Something's not right. And you get the fuck out of there. I think that's one of the things, watch it again, this whole... I think when I first saw this, I was 20. So even today, I'm still looking for, action, action, action. And I still love that. That's my favorite. But I think it kind of went over my head, not kind of, that he's angry, but this whole deep trauma is what is making this anger go forward and more of a dangerous weapon within himself. That's what's fueling, that's being the fuel to his fire, so to speak. Well, you did deep philosophical. I'm fine with that with the Hulk. If someone did that with the Ninja Turtles, I would fucking love it. To take the Ninja Turtle, I mean, oh, that's silly. Well, people say the Hulk's silly. People say Batman is silly. If you said, why are they trying to take the Batman, serious? People would get mad at you. But yet there was a time where Batman was deemed just silly because of the Adam West stuff. What? Batman? Like, we don't take him seriously? And you're casting... But then that's why, Michael Keaton as Batman? Oh, there's gonna be silly shit. So it's like, why is it that you're okay with believing Batman? And yes, that'll be serious. It's still a guy in a bat suit. Think he's a giant bat. But yet, like, you can't take other stuff seriously, or try to. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about the boom, boom, boom. I get what they're going with, though. The heartbeat thing. Boom. But I will forgive that, because I think Eric Bana, I did what they were going for. Sam Elliott. I mean, Sam Elliott is pretty intense as his character Ross. Like, you could definitely buy him as a villain, or, well, not villain, but like a potential antagonist for the Hulk for an ongoing future. But Sam Elliott, you get that there's a part of him that wants to protect his daughter, and that's why he's so angry about this, is that he doesn't want his daughter hurt. And he knew how crazy the dad was, so he thinks his son will go in the same ballpark. I also like the idea, I just realized, all that food on the table, like countless like Chinese food and different drinks. Like as the Hulk, he expended so much energy that he needs. He has that big appetite that needs to be fulfilled. I think if you look at the table, there's like a shitload of food on there. It's kind of like the TV show The Flash with John Wesley Shipp. That he goes so fast, he expends so much energy, and he's like, man, I'm always hungry. And he's having to eat a lot. You know, little details like that. I didn't even notice that before, all that food on there. But would he really give his real address? Nick Nolte's character? Would he give his real address? Wouldn't he give like a fake address? Why would he give his real address when he went for that job? Why do you say you get those paychecks? They gotta know where to send them. Here's Nick Nolte's real apartment. I know that's mean, but I mean, he doesn't work a lot, and at least nowadays. It just sadly he's not an actor who seems like anyone really takes seriously nowadays. When there's a short amount of time that he was up there with the better actors of his generation. But yeah, it just seems like because how shot his voice is. Again, he's not taken as seriously as before. Might look up info trivia on this. There might be some interesting trivia. But yeah, I guess it depends. If you're looking for more of a down and dirty action film with the Hulk, this isn't it. And I can get being disappointed with that. But just again, for me, so many of these fucking films nowadays try to be action films. They fail so badly, whether it be Shang-Chi or Black Widow or Captain Marvel, and there's nothing to it. Nothing in terms of merit, nothing in terms of depth, nothing in terms of anything else. That stuff like this is more of a breath of fresh air. To me especially. Even on a visual note, I prefer what it's trying to do. I'm looking up 5.6 on IMDb. I think that's too low. Sorry, I'm not sorry. I think that's bullshit, honestly. They give every fucking new Marvel film a 10-hour goddamn 10, call it a masterpiece. I'll say here, there's more going on with this plot than Spider-Man No Way Home. I'll fucking say it, and I mean it. There's more going on with this story, with these characters, than No Way Home. But No Way Home is a fucking masterpiece, apparently. Like, no it ain't. Let's see. Ang Lee employed the split screen technique to cinematically mimic the panels of comic book pages. And Sam Elliott's intense as hell. Then just say it if you don't believe him. Just say the memories if you don't believe him. Like you said, just tell me. I didn't. I'm just sorry. Just Sam Elliott is pretty fucking intense. See, that feels like what the Ross character would be. A guy you do not want to fuck with. Eric Bana commented that the mood during shooting was ridiculously serious and morbid. Director Ainley explained that he was shooting a sort of superhero tragedy and he would be making a whole other movie about the Hulk at the ILM studios. At the time, well, ironically, the film was criticized as being an overly serious superhero movie. Can you imagine that? Oh, serious superhero movie? How dare you? Incredible Hulk rebooted the film, however, as Marvel has the production rights to make a film. God, stupid fucking phone. Stop asking me to fucking download stuff. Stupid phone. Bruce's dreams are primarily green and purple colored, the Hulk's signature colors. That's didn't realize that. That's right. Oh my god, I'm tired of this fucking thing. I've canceled this fucking thing 5 times. God, stupid fucking phone. When the project was in the works in the 90s, Johnny Depp was originally top choice to play Bruce Banner. Then Billy Crudup, Tom Cruise was offered, Steve Buscemi, David Duchovny, Jeff Goldblum. David Duchovny would have been interesting. In 1997, Joe Johnson was going to direct the film, but dropped out to film October Sky. Later on, he directed Captain America: The First Avenger. Yeah, Danny Elfman does the score. I think he did a pretty good job of it. The film had a sequel in the form of a tie-in video game, Hulk, released at the same time. Oh, okay, I didn't know it was looked at as a sequel. Let's see. Ang Lee turned down Terminator 3 to direct this film. Ang Lee considered retiring from filmmaking after directing this film, just because of all the bad word of mouth it got. Oh, here he goes. See, I love this edit. They're both going towards it, and the doors open at the same time to sync the two scenes together. I think that looked really cool visually. Like camera here. There's the door. Here's the other piece of the door. The door's open, and then boom, they're in the same shot. Bad idea. Bad idea. Don't do it. making me angry. Yeah, you would not like him when he was angry. Nice. Alright, here he goes. Jolly Green Giant. Nah, he's super pissed. I mean, you have to also understand that in the time, like, that doesn't look that bad. Fucked his day up. Again, mixture of real, like the house stuff looks like it's real. Real pieces of the house being thrown about. Bullets bouncing off his skin. See, it's like he's growing because he's getting more pissed. See, he's growing more and more. That's some good underwear. Or pants, whatever. Maybe, like, that should be an advertisement for underwear. So your underwear doesn't tear. Hulk underwear. Hulk underpants. That gotta knock the fuck out. Okay, I found Steve Johnson, Incredible Hulk monster movie that never was. Let's see if I can show this. This is what it looked like that I was talking about. And that looks pretty cool right there. That looks pretty cool. Let's see. Steve Johnson worked on 5 separate Marvel projects, all of which were to consist of almost exclusively practical effects, and most of these projects never came to fruition. Steve Johnson has worked on Big Trouble in Little China, the original Fright Night, Night of the Demons. He has a book, which I've never read. Be interesting to check that out, though. He was attached to projects as Iron Man, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man 2 and 3, a 1998 version of The Incredible Hulk. This is an infancy of digital. Nobody trusted digital back then, so we were only going to use digital for really wide shots where the Hulk and these creatures were going to do things that you could not possibly do otherwise. This is one of the creatures the Hulk would fight. That was pretty damn neat. On to the right, you see a Hulk head. It's in yellow, but I think that's a Hulk head that they would paint, and this is one of the creatures. Fresh off his work on the Tim Burton's failed Superman Lives project, Johnson's team were contacted by Universal to begin development on an extensive bevy of elaborate characters for Incredible Hulk, including giant villainous insectoids, gamma-ray exposed freaks, and multiple elaborate Hulk suits. Full body suits, prosthetics, and animatronics. Here we have the dogs. Which would have been cool to see it done in this fashion. But at least the Hulk does fight something and kill something and destroy something. Which should probably be deemed too violent in Marvel nowadays. But yeah, he beats the shit out of these things. You know, the darkness make it a little bit hard to see, to be fair. Oh, thankfully she turned on the headlights. Oh, never mind. They're all the fucking way down there. Okay, start the car and get the fuck out, lady. biting him, so Hulk's like, I'm going to bite you then. And, yeah, there you go. Just kicking their fucking ass. And it shows like the whole. This other showed you his power, like he can leap far, how strong he is when he beats the fucker out of the tank later. These stupid assholes won't leave him alone. Oh shit. Ooh, they're right in his mouth. And that green splatter of blood. And knocked his head right through the fucking windshield. A damn, full force blow another bit of green blood. Third time's a charm. Said, yeah, him getting angrier and angrier, so the fucking jaw breaks on its own. And, like, ripped him apart. Like, that's the Hulk being pissed. That's the Hulk, the animosity. That's what I'm talking about. The animosity, the anger, the rage, the fuck you. I felt that. And that's what I should feel. So in 1998, Avi Arad, Dale and Hurd, who produced this, was producing this film, and Jonathan Hensley was to make his directorial debut. He would later do it with The Punisher, Thomas Jane 2004 film. At this time, he helped write screenplays for Die with a Vengeance, Jumanji, Armageddon. The plot: Bruce Banner experimenting with gamma-irradiated insect DNA on a trio of convicts before he himself gets exposed. His experiments end up turning the three already dangerous men into insectoid mutant villains, which he then must battle after his own transformation into the Hulk. Huh. So, but why would he be experimenting on prisoners? Okay. He had an animatronic head, and his arms were crossed over his chest inside the suit, and we had these huge arms that were strung and kinetically weighted so that as he walked, they would just swing naturally while he walked on lifts. It was amazing. It was so cool. It does look pretty cool, I mean, visually. In the basement of the lab was all of the rejects. All the scientists kept their failed experiments down there. Big fat humans that couldn't even stand up, so they had to lay in hammocks. Island of Dr. Moreau kind of thing. All this weird shit down there. Ambitious scrotum. The ambitious scope of the project had Johnson and his team developing some of the biggest animatronics ever imagined, including a 30-foot tall, fully animatronic Super Hulk who was going to be the film's most formidable villain. Super Hulk was some abomination of the gamma rays that was Hulk's nemesis, and it was 4 times the size of Hulk, and we were actually building that as well. Can you believe it? We were breaking new ground on the film, we really were. Talking about it makes me want to cry because it was so cool and I never saw the light of day. The scope and budget was mounting. Steered the Universal executives. It was already pushing $100 million, so it was canceled. So that's another picture there. Let's see. The director called me up one afternoon and he goes, Universal just pulled the plug on the Hulk. You want to know what the worst thing about it? I then had to go to my team of 50 artists and engineers and say, the movie's over, go home. It It was devastating, and it wasn't about the money, it was about the passion for our art, not being able to show the world what we have been so excited to come to work and do every day for 6 months. Other films that he was a part of that never got made: Clive Barker's Mummy, Joe Dante's Jetsons, Creature from the Black Lagoon, original iteration of Predator. He helped create mechanical tentacles for Dr. Octopus and Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Man. See, that's what I mean. These type of animatronics work. The skeleton of the thing. I think these would be like the type of abominations underneath. Like that's an arm and... Would have been interesting. Of course, it didn't get made. Just how it goes. So I'm trying to see if there's any info. Because I'm just trying to look at the info on films not made. Let me see. Was there talk of a sequel to this movie and what that would have been? Screenwriter James Schamus, one of the people credited for the story of Ang Lee's Hulk, was set to pen the sequel. In a conversation, all it says here would take place on a Native American reservation. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to see if there's any other info about it. And yeah, I like all those like panels. It gives it just a different distinction compared to all these other movies. And look at that, real helicopters being used. Nowadays it'd be all fucking digital. Even that would be digital. Well, it says here he was the writer was thinking of the Grey Hulk persona, the leader, and Abomination as villains. Oh, which, they then later became 2008 Hulk. Let's see. And sorry, I'm not saying anything, I'm just looking it up. Ang Lee is trying to actually deal with the issues in the story of the Hulk instead of simply cutting to brainless visual effects, says Roger Ebert. I agree. I do agree with that. That's one of the reasons I like it. One of the few big-budget superhero films that really departed from formula in terms of subject matter and tone. It's bizarre, but it's interesting for that reason. Quietly soulful and deeply sad adaptation of the Incredible Hulk comics. It made 132 million in the U.S. and 245 million total worldwide. So that wasn't, the biggest of money makers. See, producer Avi Arad, Yell Hurd began developing Hulk in 1990. Set up Universal Pictures in 92. The first concept was to have Hulk battle terrorists. An idea Michael France disliked. John Turman, a Hulk comic book fan, was brought in to write the script in 94. He wrote 10 drafts and pitted the Hulk against General Ross in the military and the Leader. Also included Rick Jones and Atomic Explosion origin from the comics, along with Brian Banner as the explanation for Bruce's inner anger. Still, you have mixed feelings on the script. Wait, Jonathan Hensley was Dale Ann Hurd's husband at the time? I didn't know that. Then Joe Johnson was the director in April 97. Johnson dropped out. Hensley convinced Let Me Do It. Jonathan Hensley wrote from scratch. Experiments with irradiated insect DNA, 3 convicts transformed into insect men. Filming was to start in December 97. For summer 99. Filming was pushed back. Oh god, he rewrote the script, and one of the people who helped rewrite it was J.J. Abrams. Oh shit, no wonder that didn't get made. Hulk entered pre-production. Estimated $100 million budget. So Jonathan Hensley, it just didn't work out. And ultimately, Ainley. Filming began March 18, 2002 in Arizona and moved on April 19th to the San Francisco Bay Area. Locations included Advanced Light Source, Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory, Oakland, Treasure Island Military Base, and the Sequoia Forest of Porterville, as well as several weeks in the Utah and California deserts. The scene at the end was at the real Pear Lake and Sequoia National Park as a backdrop. And this is pretty much the creation of Absorbing Man, which I know a lot of people did not like this interpretation. I've never seen Absorbing Man in the comics. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm an expert on that, because I'm not. But I liked the visual cues that were utilized with it. Like his hand gets to be part of his rail. It just was right in. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Like his fingers are in. I think because like it's half it's inside, half it's outside. Has this sort of unique thing. It kind of tells the story of what's going on with him without having to over-explain it. And then the way he kills this guy. Number one, it shows that once again he's cold-hearted. And just straight up murder this guy. Again, it's like subtle, but it looks really cool. Like it goes into the grate. Oh, wait a minute. He killed the black guy. He's got to get canceled now. He's racist. Yeah, sorry, just want to double check on certain stuff, but yeah. At least I was able to show a few pictures, some of the films that never came to be. That's one thing I appreciate that they went to the degree of I want to explore the character. And also in retrospect, like if I want the action Hulk, I could watch the 2008 film, which helped people shit on that too. So it's like, they want something a bit more in depth, they shit on this one. They want something a bit more action, they shit on 2008 one. I liked both. And it's like, well, what do people want then? What do people want with a Hulk movie? Specifically. Hulk destroy? Okay, he destroys for how long? Can he destroy for an entire 90 minutes? Unless you want to make him a villain. But if he's a hero or anti-hero, however you want to put it, how you make Hulk destroying tons of stuff, but you don't want to hurt people, but you don't want to call bullshit on that. Going, yeah. Be like the fucking ending of Man of Steel. So again, it goes into what can you really do with the Hulk if that's the case. If he's this big, powerful being, if you want him to destroy, like in the video games, like the, what was that, PS2 game, Total Destruction or something, they would say the video game because it's a video game. You don't think of it. But in a movie, you'd be thinking, wait a minute, is people getting hurt? Are people getting killed? So again, how do you work that into a story? I think that's why people feel, if you put him in a supporting role, he comes in, he smashes some aliens, he leaves, there you go. And some people feel he works better as a supporting character because of that. You get a little bit of his drama, a little bit of his heartbreak, a little bit of his, whether Jekyll and Hyde or whatever you want to grab towards for comparison. And then he did, like the first Avengers movie, destroys these big alien vehicles and fucks up Loki, like the Ninja Turtles did in Turtles in Time. Remember, they grab someone, they go choo 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 choo, in the Ninja Turtles in Time video game. Hulk did that to Loki. It's like, oh yeah. which I liked that too. To be fair, I liked it in that movie. And I didn't even love the first Avengers. I gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars. Because, like, you know what? I liked Captain America Winter Soldier more. I liked Iron Man more. I liked, in retrospect, Captain America First Avenger more than the first Avengers. But the first Avengers, okay, again, I liked it. I just didn't think it was a masterpiece like other people did. I probably give like a 3 out of 5. While I didn't like Iron Man and Captain America movies, and I enjoy those more. But I think by this time in the theater, you could kind of gather a good chunk of the audience just felt this dissipation of emotion. They were, quite frankly, bored. A lot of the audience was bored by this point. Just, I'm sure people were bored with his commentary at this point. People were bored. They're like, where the fuck is the Hulk? Which, again, I understand, because this is the first big budget movie of the Hulk, and you're 80 minutes in, almost 90 minutes in, and you haven't seen much of the Hulk. You've seen him wreck a lab, break out of a house, and then I think in a couple of minutes we're going to see him again. Oh no, and then the dogs. He was fighting the dogs. Which, I mean, it's the set you see, going longer. But you still kind of look at it as a different scene. Fucked this day up. I do like George Lucas's death scene, the sort of freeze frame. It does remind me, in a good way, of a comic book. And the thing with comic book movies is that I do like some comic book films, superhero films, but man, it's such a dime a dozen thing. It's not special anymore. How can I miss you if you don't go away? How can I miss you if you're there every week and twice on Sunday? And every couple months there's another superhero film or comic book film. Whether it be there's a Spider-Man movie, there's an Eternals movie, there's a Black Widow movie, there's a Shang-Chi movie, there's going to be the new Batman film, there's going to be that Flash movie with Michael Keaton in as Batman, and there's going to be all these Marvel films, there's going to be Shang-Chi 2, there's going to be sequel to Captain Marvel, there's Doctor Strange 2, again and again and again. There's the Black Adam movie with The Rock. I didn't even look to see like what's their full schedule going forward. Yeah, the Hulk is coming up soon again because I know he breaks out of this. They put him in the fucking tube Luke Skywalker was in Star Wars. At the at the end of Empire Strikes Back. But it's just now every fucking superhero, well, not every, but so many is like, oh, this is looked at as a masterpiece, 5 out of 5 stars. I'm like, well, teach their own, but if you don't feel that way, you're the worst person ever, and you're just a hater. And I'm like, well, I don't like a lot of new movies because I think quality has gone downhill. And if I think quality's gone downhill, then I'm going to say it. There are films I like that come out recently, whether for entertainment, popcorn value, or various other ways, but I liked Nobody, I liked Willy's Wonderland, I liked the Suicide Squad, 2021. That one I enjoyed. But And that's the thing, is that this guy, he doesn't want to help his son. He wants to absorb his power, again, further showing just where his mindset's at. And I'll say it here, I mean, I like this villain more than the Abomination. I said it. Because the Abomination, I like the 2008 Hulk film. Yes, it gives the Hulk something to fight. But the look of the Abomination, the design didn't do much for me. And it's cool to see a couple of the Hulk moves, like that thunderclap. But it just wasn't that interesting of a character or villain. I get more interested in this with the whole father-son thing. Some people, oh, it's a bunch of daddy issues. But yeah, it's dealing with the psychological trauma value. I think calling it daddy issues is... I don't know if facetious is the right word, but I think it's not given the proper scope of the story. Yeah, and yeah, a lot of purple and green. Back to the day, the green skin, the purple shorts. Yeah, you do see a lot of purple and green in that stuff. Huh. Sorry, now I'm just watching this again. So think about it, you're watching your dad that's gonna try to stab you with a knife. The mom stops it, and the knife stabs into her. And she is crawling, dying, trying to run for help. And the kid's just watching and not knowing how the hell to... how you even begin to understand this. And because of the base is their testing facility in the back. And I think he's remembered fully what happened to his mom. And if that doesn't get anyone angry, I don't know. See, that right there just comes into motion. Okay, I get the Hulk's anger now. I get his simmering hatred now. I get his... This is what leads into like the biggest action scene in the movie. Because it goes the tank, the helicopters, before they escape at this facility. Which I love this whole scene. It's my favorite scene in the movie. And to me, it shows the Hulk to be a fucking badass. That's why I wish there was a sequel and you could introduce a fucking creature. You don't want to give it all away in the first film. Leave something for the sequel. So it's not like, well, I've seen everything. Why do I need a sequel? I've seen it all. So that's why I like Star Trek the Motion Picture. Then you did the Star Trek 2, you did a bit more of an action. You didn't give it all away in the first film. That's the thing, you give everything away in the first film, what the fuck you don't do in the sequel? Exactly. Gesundheit. Super tit. He's pissed off. Someone played with his butt. He didn't like it. Who touched my butt? Who probed me? Who put the fucking vibrator up my ass? Someone's gonna pay. This is why I say today. Listen to what I say. I don't wanna lay by the bay and eat hay. I just may. What you say? Lock down, drop down, you're busted. Shake down, break down. That drill ain't gonna do shit. You try to do this vacuum form shit on me, you going bye-bye. See, making the whole more pissed. It's dead got a bitter. That's what she said, getting bitter. My dick is as big as your entire body. Oh, this is the hilarious. Okay, because it bounces off him. Sci-fi. I love that. I love that. It's an interesting cut. Sort of a pan back, see the whole grid of cuts leading up to it, and then leading to this. And these edits kind of get into the hectic nature of what's going on. And again, you see there's a lot of real practical stuff intermixed with the CGI here. What you're actually having the bit set get utilized. So it's like they film nothing there, but they lift the set and they move this big thing here as if it's being thrown or being busted. Put some explosions to merge with it. It makes the scene a little bit more believable instead of making everything CG. But like, okay, that's real fire. That's a real thing that was going down this rail, this track. He's just fucking tearing house on this. That's why it makes sense to put him in the desert, because he could do all sorts of stuff with these tanks and helicopters, but at the same time you're not worried about collateral damage. Now you get to the city a little bit, but again, you could work up to that. See, I love that cut too. Like he's breaking out of the previous scene. He runs like a motherfucker. See, this, to me, this shows the Hulk in his potential. He's fucking fast as fuck. He's jumping like Superman would jump. He survives his big fucking explosion, which I always thought another cool looking shot coming up. Yeah, this reminds me, this reminds him of what happened. Which is that brimming, simmering anger showcasing him. It makes me get into the story more. Yeah, there you go. That bit there. There's his skin regenerated. Ah, man, just jumping away from all those explosions and you're like, oh shit! It's like how far he fucking jumped, man. That's a powerful motherfucker. Dude, oh, tuck and roll. These fucking tanks. Goddamn Desert Storm. Super battle tank. So yeah, that's like real sand and stuff being blown up, and then they put the CG character in there. A mix of digital and practical merging of the two. Do you, and yeah, the whole fucking with up these tanks I love. Just showing the power. It's like, fuck you. Grand Theft Auto, bitch. Say hi to your friend. Actually, say hi to mama. Now that's fucking power. You swing a tank like that? Holy shit. I want my cornflakes. Get the fuck out of there. I think he uses as a the block, right? Yeah, it's like, get out of there. Get the fuck out of there. Oh shit. Block it. And he's like, you shoot at me, you son bitch. Your ass is grass. I got my fucking Jose Canseco bat. You mother fucking pay me my rent. And now he's like John Henry on this bitch. You want to shoot at someone, you shoot at yourself. There, pull the trigger now. And even that shot showcasing that, you know, he didn't die. He's still there, and Hulk got the fuck out of Dodge. Damn. Talk about leaping for joy. Jesus. Let's say it shows the grand scale of the Hulk. But he's like, well, we can't show him this badass because he'll overshadow the Avengers. It's like, well, that's part of the point of the Hulk. I have an army. We have a Hulk. Which was a good line in the first Avengers movie. And it seemed like that's what they were going for. But then, no. I think that's what Joss Whedon, no matter what you feel about him personally, I think that's what Joss Whedon was going for with the Hulk. And then Marvel's like, nah, let's not. Damn, he's booking it. Oh, I'm watching this on Blu-ray, by the way, and the Blu-ray looks pretty damn good. But yeah, 5.6. Fuck that. Lower rating than Captain fucking Marvel. Give me a break. If you want to try to tell me that Shang-Chi or Black Widow or the Eternals or Captain Marvel or stuff is better than this movie, teach their own, man. I'll watch this movie gladly than the last 5 Marvel films. Hulk just wants to be left alone. I just want to eat. Oh, dealt with tanks. Now he's got to deal with helicopters. I like the bit where he takes the rocket. He like bites off the tip of it and he spits it back. I think, wow, that's pretty badass. That'll be coming up in a bit. He's like running on the walls and dodging shit. I'm like, yeah, this is supposed to be a formidable fucking thing, not a pushover. Because this Hulk ain't a pushover. He ain't a pussy. Marvel, the new Hulk is a pussy. This Hulk ain't a pussy. Look at that. Just body slammed. He suplexed a fucking helicopter. He suplexed a fucking helicopter. Suplex City, bitch. To a helicopter. And he's like, throws a fuck. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Alright, come on. He suplexed a fucking helicopter. Guns ready. Going steady. Up, he's like, damn it. Get the fuck out of my face. Yeah, he's super pissed now. He's like, leave me the fuck alone. I just want to do my laundry. Do my dishes. I'm just going out for a jog. In my underwear. Why can't you just leave me alone? You mad I don't have my shirt on? Let me put a shirt on. Stop shooting at me. He's bouncing this shit left and right. Jump for joy, man. Damn hip-hop skedaddling all across the canyons. Yeah, I think this is where he bites the tip off, right? Yeah, he bites the tip of it. That's badass, man. See, there you go. Shit like that are the moments you want. That's the moments you want, man. I don't later in coming a little bit. There's a fire jet bit too. But yeah, I think back to Marvel. Marvel. I mean, this is the Marvel with Iron Man. That didn't start out. Disney didn't have Marvel at that time with the first Iron Man. It wasn't until a few years later then Disney bought it out, and then things just started to change. Even more formulaic, even more cookie cutter, even more. This is a formula. Follow it to the brim. Then also let's force a bunch of fucking politics or gender politics or all this sorts of other stuff, and be part lecture, part entertainment, and then it's just terrible. I mean, Captain Marvel was fucking terrible. Terrible lead character, boring performance, waste of Sam Jackson's time. Make it that Nick Fury lost his eye to a fucking alien cat. It's just ridiculous when Captain America, he's telling him in a movie before, I lost this eye because I trusted someone. And then you find out it was an alien cat. This is a fucking joke. One big fucking joke. Shang-Chi was mediocre as hell. Black Widow had a dumb plot. Characters I didn't give a shit about. Overlong. And like even in this state, Hulk was able to save this person, even though it's trying to kill him. And the guy doesn't realize it, but saved him. It's like, you asshole, this guy saved your life and you're still gonna do this. But yeah, it's a cool bit of scene here as they're trying to fuck up his air supply, so to speak. How do you know he'll lose consciousness before? You don't know. I like that detail, the bit of frost on the face. A lot of times it's the details that make me appreciate stuff even more. There he goes. That's a long fucking drop. This comes to one of my favorite bits. This like nightmare scene. Even in the theater, I always thought, wow, this is really like cool, but in a weird way creepy. Just him shaving, and he's looking at the green man in the mirror, just showing the reflection. His hand equals Hulk's one finger. And he has like the Hulk taking over. And you could play around more with that in a sequel to this. You could play more with the this is like two different people in one body. One is the anger that won't let go, and the other is the one who wants to move on. Like, one is Eric Bana, who wants to move on, realizes the healthy ways to move on with life, forget about the past, while Hulk is, since technically it was his mother too, succumbs to the past, grows his anger from the past, as well as other transgressions, and does want to move on. And again, it's this fight of the two of them in this one body. And you have more scenes like that. And you can't destroy too much of a city, because how would, okay, he's the hero, but all these people getting hurt in the city, how far can you have that go? It's an understandable question, as we saw when you have someone like Zack Snyder who doesn't give a shit about that in Man of Steel, and Superman is helping destroy an entire fucking city. Oh, but, well, you know what? He could grab the guy and I mean, whatever. Like, I still remember that one bit in Man of Steel where Zod throws a car or something, and Superman, instead of catching it, stopping it, he just moves out of the way. As if that doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what that car, who that car hits, what that car does. Because that's not what matters. I'm like... Because Zack Snyder, on a side note, he got in the comic books, and hey, I get this, but he got in the comic books for sex and violence. I like sex and violence, but Superman ain't the fucking comic for that. Or the guy who just wants that isn't the guy that directs Superman. Now he's got to find a way to find a place to park. Now there's pretty much showcasing all the different ways that that cornering this guy. But let's say, imagine if Hulk destroyed half a city. How could you ever look at him as a hero then? You get what I mean? That's a tough pill to swallow. That's the hard thing with the Hulk. Again, when you're playing a video game, you look at things differently than a movie. That's the conundrum with the Hulk. That's why a story like Planet Hulk would be the best bet. But they fucked that up and they did Thor Ragnarok, which I didn't even hate Thor Ragnarok. I reviewed it. I don't even know if that review's still up, and I liked it as entertaining movie. I'm like, oh, Chris Hemsworth is having fun, and it went at a fast pace, and I chuckled. But it's not a film I rewatch a lot. But I don't hate it like other people, but I did it. I did it. I'm not going to defend that movie either. My friend Michael Keane, he's not a fan of the Thor Ragnarok, and I did it. I absolutely get why. There we go. Dissipation. He's melting. He's melting. No. Again, that's some good underpants. I'm telling you, Hulk underpants. In case your dick is as big as a thimble or a Mack truck, Hulk underpants. If you're 5 pounds or 500 pounds, try on Hulk underpants. Wait till we get our hands on you. Someone could edit that as like a Hanes commercial. If you remember that jingle. Wait till we get our hands on you. Are you a Hulk? Are you Hulk? Are you hulking up in that sack? Are you big? Are you small? Are you tall? Wait till we get our hands on you. Yeah, they ain't taking any other extra measures. They're making damn sure. And Jennifer Connelly sells this scene. Sells it well. I would definitely say that's the longest bit of action in the movie. Now we get to this bit here where Nolte and Eric Bana have their face-to-face, so to speak. Which is a bad call, Ripley. It's a bad call. That's one scene I would say is awkward coming up where it looks kind of like a play. Because they have this empty background, just these two actors, and Eric Bana is yelling, and Nolte's like mimicking, making fun of him, going, "Wah," having your tantrums, "Wah." But fuck, I mean, Spider-Man, Sam Raimi did that with the fucking rooftop with the Green Goblin looking like an action figure Power Ranger villain. And then there's Spider-Man sitting there with his mask on. And as one critic said, it looked like two action figures try to talk to each other. But you know, if people could give Spider-Man the pass, I'll give it a pass in this. And it's funny, as much as a hard ass as Sam Elliott is, I still like him more than William Hurt's character. Did you see that he's listened to his daughter? He takes his daughter's suggestions. Like, she's like, please let him calm down. Sam Elliott listens. Oh, please let me talk to him. Sam Elliott listens. Just look between Sam Elliott and this guy. It's too bad you didn't get you didn't really get scenes with Sam Elliott and Nick Nolte back and forth. That would have been nice to see. That was a missed opportunity. At least one scene. Yeah, you see, it makes sense if you think about it. Like, the reason so much of this is empty is it gives less for the Hulk to destroy, just in case. Because you don't want him just destroying all this debris and stuff, so have a wide open space for maybe people to go in and try to do something. What would happen if, okay, fine, you turn yourself in, we'll give you this meeting, and then they go, nah, never mind, we lied, but you're in jail, so tough titty. I'm guessing he would have broken out and tried to do something else. But yeah, the way the lighting is, two guys sitting in a chair, this backdrop of darkness, it does come off a little bit like a play. But I'm still involved with the story. And again, they give a depth to the Bruce Banner character. What fucking depth is there in the new ones with Mark Ruffalo? Let me take some selfies, look like Steve Urkel, and you want a fucking breakfast taco? What the fuck? Just fucking ridiculous. Ridiculous. I think that Nolte mocks this, right? I think when he sits back down, he does it. And that's the thing is that Nolte, his son is the Hulk, not Bruce Banner. And it's like, man, that's a bit fucked up. Just something about this is so psychologically fucked up. Like, you're nothing. A husk of flimsy consciousness, ready to be torn off at a moment's notice. It's not really a smart decision to, hey, this guy killed your mother, so let's have you two get together. More than likely, he's not going to be calm during that, so it wasn't a good idea in the first place. Grab some real quick. Alright. Just checking the time. See, that's the bit there is that you have him yelling, go! And then Nolte doing this tantrum. That's where it's like, okay, it's a little bit too over dramatic. And that's but I just I love the visual of the absorbing man, like all these different visuals, like this electrical portion, and there's a water portion, all this stuff. Definitely a cool sort of visual aesthetic to it all. Again, that's so cool looking. Like you see the silhouettes throughout the clouds, as if again it's just pure lightning, and you see this again the shadow is like illuminated by the clouds, or I don't know, like the shadow, the clouds make the shadows that is illuminated by the lightning, and I don't know, just visually neat to see. Then you have this rock monster that he's absorbed in to become. You have something at least physical to punch. But then the tough thing about this is that he absorbs energy, so drag his ass around. There you go. Jams us right into that fucking rock. The lighting could be a little bit brighter. It's a little bit too dim, so it makes it a little bit harder to see than it should. But it's nighttime, but I'm just saying. But yeah, I like these different forms. Again, you have lightning, rock, and now water. And how do you fight this thing? I said, okay. I mean, if there's an epitome of letting trauma go, this is a way to display it. Like, in a way you want to move on. And Absorbing Man froze it so that so okay, you want about power, but it's all about the anger and rage. You think you live with it? Take it. Take it all. And in that trauma and rage just pretty much gives him a big fucking overdose of it. Cause he's got a lot of rage to let out. Nope, he's not going to take it back. You wanted it. Again, that anger, that trauma, pretty much. You can barely see some of the clips of like the wife. I mean, the mom didn't killed all that. And you wanted that trauma, you got it, and then some. So I like the Sam Elliott is like he does that, but there's still a bit of like eyes glistening and tell you, those damn pants, those damn shorts. Anything else could be destroyed, but those shorts are stay on. Damn Hulk underpants. Be one hell of a Hanes commercial. And then what's funny is that where this ends, it's in another country that seems like the same country Edward Norton is in at the beginning of The Incredible Hulk. But then it's like, no, I've heard that Edward Norton is one of the things that rewrote it to make it more a reboot than a sequel. And it's like, but at the same time, you're like in the same type of fucking... Which I find confusing. Like, Edward Norton apparently read the script and didn't like it, but then he wants to have all the deep themes. I'm like, this seems like your wheelhouse, Edward Norton. This seems like the type of movie you wanted to make. Based on your thought process and all that stuff. In interviews, but... At least she's being honest. Again, it seems like if you take some, like, she's working here, General Ross is keeping tabs on her, Bruce Banner's in a different country, was it South America or I forget where, and again, in a weird way, it seems like a sequel, but then it's not, and it just, because they show like a different backstory, origin, in flashes, and I'm like, which is more an ode to the 70s Hulk show. But, I don't know, man. It's like they rewrote the script and they kept certain things that would have been a sequel to this, and they changed other stuff. But whatever. Again, this film came out, got hated on, trashed, didn't underperformed at the box office. I don't know if I would say it's a flop, but underperformed as much as they wanted, and a lot of fans were not happy with it, and I still think it's a... Yes, there's some tweaking in the pacing. That last conversation in that hangar between Nolte and Eric Bana, a little bit of overdramatic theta type of crap that could be distilled. But yeah, Bruce Banner's trying to help people, and you don't piss them off. You're making me angry. You will like me when I'm angry. He's got like a little lizard on his hat. I didn't realize that. Yeah, those guys are up shit creek. Even the credits are done like in a comic book style, which is a cool motif. So yeah, I enjoy this film. I still enjoy this film. I think it has flaws, but so do a shitload of films have flaws, but I liked what it tried to do. Set Me Free. Yeah, Slash. Yeah, that was I forget what the name of the band was with all of them put together, but I remember I was working at Target at the time, because I remember during work when we're unloading the trucks. Oh, Rick Avery was part of the stunts. I think Rick Avery is the guy who helped direct Daily Outbreak with Jeff Speakman, if that's the same Rick Avery. But I remember working, unloading trucks, and this song would pop in on the radio. Set me free, set me free. But yeah, I enjoy its ambition. It was trying to tell more of a deeper story. Try to develop the characters. Story of trauma, trying to overcome trauma. It gives more of a sense to me of who the Hulk is and why he has such a simmering rage. Because of this fucked up backstory. I don't think the action scenes are underwhelming. I mean, some people say it is. I don't agree. I mean, what Hulk action scenes were there in Avengers Endgame? Or when he got his ass kicked in 10 seconds by Thanos in Avengers Infinity War? Let's see. Let's really think about it. Thor Ragnarok. He fought Thor. He fought Thor. Then Thor knocked him out. No. Did Thor knock him out? No, I think... Or Hulk won. See, that shows how much I fucking remember that. Shows how much I fucking remember that. And then... he jumps out, and they play it as a joke. Kind of like what Edward Norton did in Incredible Hulk, but they do it again, but they play it as a joke. And he hits. And then he fights one fucking monster. Most of it's off-screen. Not all of it, but most of it's like off-screen. Him fighting this one monster. Avengers, again, Infinity War, he gets his ass kicked by Thanos. Then the trailer lied and said he would come back at the end and Wakanda. That never happened, so the trailer lied. And then the next one, what the fuck did he do? What the fuck did he actually do? Well, I guess to be fair, he did the stuff that weakened him to help. He was important to the plot, to be fair, in Avengers Endgame. Again, I forgot what it was, though, because I barely remember that fucking movie. But he did something that was very important to the plot, I know that. I think he, like, putting the gems together in order to change the... He did something that made it so... the heroes would come back. That were snapped out of existence. To bring that other half back. So I think he did a snap to bring the people back or something. And then Robert Downey Jr. got in and did the snap to kill all the bad guys. See, that shows how much I fucking remember that. But I remember this more. I really, truly do. And this movie isn't 3 fucking hours long like that movie, so. Anyway, I enjoy the visuals. I enjoy the editing, comic book style aesthetic. I think that actually makes it more unique and fascinating. Nice visual display of direction. I think the actors, for the most part, do their job. I love Sam Elliott. I like him more as Ross than William Hurt. Jennifer Connelly, I like more as Betty than... I don't mind Liv Tyler, but I like Jennifer Connelly more. Eric Bana. Edward Norton is better, but I think Eric Bana did a good job. I do. And overall, I think this is a pretty underrated film. I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I think it's better than a 5.6. So... and this is like when you didn't have every fucking film have an after credits scene. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.